Hello, my name is Dermot McLaughlin. I am an IT teacher, faculty leader, IT strategic manager, ex-assistant principal at Lydiard Park Academy, and I'm here to talk to you about It's Learning and our journey for It's Learning down the last 2 or 3 years. I first came across the platform at a BET conference. Previously, we'd used other learning providers for virtual learning environments. And we found that although they were fantastic and had a whole load of amazing tools, it was very difficult for staff to get to grips with them. The tool sets were such that there were amazing options for learners and for teachers, but they were hidden away beneath lots of layers of complexity. And so even after many years of trying to use other learning platform providers, I'd found that although certain parts of the students would take them up, and some very geeky members of staff like myself would pick them up. Not all members of staff would, and certainly the large student body couldn't get to grips with the tools that were available. I'd looked all around, I'd tried to find other providers, and it was only a lucky coincidence that at BET I managed to come across the It's Learning stall at the end of my second day. I decided to give them 5 minutes of my time and never look back. The platform's amazing, it's got a huge feature set, but most importantly, it's beautiful to look at and it's incredibly easy for anyone to use. There's no layers of complexity, it's very straightforward. You can quickly jump in, create course content, create course pages themselves, and you can, within a very small period of time, be having interactive conversations, forums, polls, surveys, assignment submissions, feedback settings, audio feedback, video feedback. The list's huge, I won't go through them all, but you can use it as a great tool, as we have at Lydiard Park Academy, to benefit your learners. On the financial side of constraints, one of the big factors behind any learning environment, or a big limiting factor to electronic access and electronic learning in many schools, including here at Lydiard Park Academy, has been budgetary constraints. Now, every school in the land has to deal with potentially standstill or shrinking budgets. And how do you justify the expenditure for a new shiny learning environment and new banks of computers and so on? Well, what we've done at Lydiard Park Academy is we've looked at our IT solution, we've changed what we do entirely so that instead of buying £500 or £400 PCs, we've gone to a thin client system, so our expenditure is centralised into our servers, and now we've got incredibly cheap computers that run things from our servers instead. That cost saving has meant that we are now able to invest a proportion of our savings into It's Learning and that learning environment. Along with our investment in It's Learning, we also got access to a lot of support. It wasn't just a one-off purchase and there you go, there's your product. It was a purchase combined with obligatory, we didn't get a choice, but I'm glad we didn't get a choice, obligatory support, obligatory training throughout our first year, which we've chosen to continue again for the second year. Now that training was absolute gold dust because we had people come in from outside the school who talked to me and talked to staff and led staff training sessions on how easy the platform is to use, giving them real life examples of all our faculties, departments and all our schools who are using it, showing case studies of where it's been amazingly successful elsewhere, and giving people that little bit of an enthusiasm injection for seeing how they could use the platform at a year, 2 years down the line, what position they could be in. One of the big selling points for us on our use of It's Learning has been as a cost saving tool, because teachers aren't photocopying so much stuff anymore, but also as a time saving tool. Teachers are investing the time in year one to get all the resources on It's Learning, but in year two, which is what we're in now, we can load up those courses, give kids access to the courses and all the course materials from year one, which staff work collaboratively to put on, are now there. So we have various new members of staff who are coming to our school, getting access to It's Learning and finding a huge amount of the course resources have already been placed there by good and outstanding teachers already, which they can pick up, adapt and use to their class. Now, Lydiard Park Academy, we use it extensively through all year groups, year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, we do assignment setting, we do forums and feedback surveys and all sorts of wonderful things. Students do use the tool fantastically well to help their learning. One of our key goals was that whenever Year 11s and indeed any other exam group go off on study leave, that they use our tool, the itslearning tool, which we do feel is our tool because we've invested so much time in it. We use our tool for revision and for learning. So the dream was that by the end of the first year of usage, we would have all content available on itslearning, all learning content, be it teacher resources, student worksheets, etc., all available through there. We reached that goal, and once again our GCSE results went up again. We just keep getting better results every year overall as a school. Now we are the top performance school in the area by quite some distance. Even whenever we have got occasionally weaker students who come through and weaker cohorts who come through, we still manage through a combination of outstanding teaching, great facilities and itslearning to be able to turn those kids around and get the absolute best results that we can for them. So they are the best results within Swindon and best results largely county-wide, especially given the cohort. So we are incredibly proud of how we've used itslearning down the years, and we've got great plans to use it all the more in future. One thing that we've done is itslearning accreditations. For the itslearning accreditation, every single teacher in the school had a requirement of them to fulfill a level 1 qualification in itslearning, which I set up. And on this qualification, all teachers had to have a basic skill set and be able to demonstrate and do a set of basic things within the learning environment. Nothing taxing, nothing difficult. It just required teachers to engage with it and to engage with the system and to try it and see what they could do. It wasn't difficult to get everybody, all teachers, all teaching assistants, all staff through that as a requirement because it was very straightforward. One of the biggest concerns people had was that they wouldn't be able to do it, and there was an attitude of fear of the unknown. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. This sounds scary. A learning environment sounds like something that maybe only the IT department should use. But once people sat down and had a look at it and followed along my YouTube videos for how to do it as well, then they found very quickly that they could do all the things that was being demonstrated. And even if they didn't quite grasp it first time, with followed up support from myself and from other itslearning support people throughout the school. It was put on as part of a UPS 3 job. So if people were going for UPS 3, one of the things that they could be assigned to do was to support the use of itslearning around the school as well as myself. They found that they could do it, and the result is that students are much more engaged through electronic means than they were previously. We now have got huge banks of resources and plans, and teachers are collaborating interactively within departments electronically, which was not happening before as well. And we even have quite a growing range of self-marking tests, self-marking quizzes, surveys and polls, which can be used to show progression as well, both during a lesson and between lessons. And obviously progression is what it's all about. Ofsted are incredibly interested in seeing how schools track progression, and because we have our assignments all set up through itslearning, and because we have so many learning opportunities captured by the system, almost by accident, it just happens. I could now sit down in a room with Ofsted inspectors and show them across subject areas how progression is happening without the need for exercise books, without the need for teachers. They could see the progression actually in action. And that progression would look like starter surveys, end surveys, forums where learning is being developed, assignments which students submit, teachers give feedback on, students submit again, and then teachers give feedback on again, which might say, well done, you've met all these criteria in full, now move on to the next task. So all those systems are baked in to itslearning and help our school to achieve the amazing results that we continue to achieve, and hopefully we expect to be even better again in future.